Guys, thank God I failed. You heard me right. I know that was not something you were expecting to hear from me. For many people that know me, I tend to talk about writing exams a lot, and that's just the life of doctors generally all over the world. From med school, you keep writing tests and exams all the time, and even in our adult life, you still write exams. But wait, before you leave and before you think I'm boring you with some medical gist, I need you to listen to these important things that failure has taught me. When I started my journey into psychiatry, that's choosing psychiatry as my specialty, somehow I just knew that was what God would have me do. And He backed up that word with ease because all the exams that I'd written from Nigeria, even up until the UK, they had all gone smoothly when it came to psychiatry. So when I was writing my Royal College of Psychiatrist exams, that's the exams that you require to practice in some sort of way in the United Kingdom, there is a 3-part exam, the paper A, the paper B, and the practical part of the exam. The first 2 parts, I aced them within 4 months, and at that point I thought, oh, why not? I can always go for the last part. So when it was time to go for the last part, I consulted with a lot of people. People had varying opinions, and I made up my mind that I was going to go for it. I mean, I could complete my exams in 7 months, no stress, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I started to practice, and somehow everyone thought, including the tutors, fellow people that were writing exams together, they all thought that I was going to ace their exams. I remember someone even sending me a message that if they were not sure of anybody passing, they were sure I was going to pass. I really embarrassed them. Anyway, I put in all the hard work, don't get me wrong. I read day and night and afternoon, every single space. In my commute as well, I would read. I studied a lot. I worked hard, really, really hard for this because I needed to just pass it and move on with my life and the next phase of my career. So I put in a lot of effort into the exams. I did tutorials, did mock exams, and things seemed to be going on just perfectly until the exam day. On the exam day, I knew there was fire on the mountain. There was a great discrepancy between what I had studied and what came out in the exam. It felt very humiliating because I thought I had a hang of everything that was going on. I thought psychiatry was my strength because I found it easy, both in practice, exams, every sphere, even in research. I find psychiatry so easy and so relatable for me. So writing an exam and having no clue about it was a red flag for me. I just knew that I was not going to pass the exam, and it was a very hard pill to swallow, very, very hard pill. I think that the most difficult part was the fact that I wasn't going to go on with my career goals as I had planned in my head. I think that was the main thing. And it was just difficult. And before I wrote this exam, I had heard a lot of information. People that are not from the UK or didn't study in the UK, they find it difficult to pass the exams. And somehow I like those kind of challenges. After I failed, it dawned on me that failure was inevitable. It dawned on me that everybody had to experience some form of failure in their lives. And while I'm not a proponent of mediocrity or failure, but there is a reason why failure exists. And get me right, did I wish I passed? Obviously, I wanted to pass. I wanted to make a statement that I was able to complete everything within 7 months. Later, it took me about 13 months to complete. But the truth is that without failure, there are important things that I would have missed out in life, and there were important lessons that I was able to learn just from failing. The number one thing for me was that I needed to get over myself. Now, I mentioned that psychiatry occurred naturally to me. It was something that I could do. But at the same time, I needed to realize that failing or passing did not define who I was. Who I was embedded in Christ, and failing or passing was just one of those things in life. That's the number one lesson that I learned. The number two lesson that I learned was that even after you fail, you have to pick yourself up. It can be very challenging, can be very difficult. Begin to think about writing it again. What if the same thing happens? Having doubts, self-doubt, sometimes self-pity. Oh, I wish this did not happen. Maybe if I had done things in a different way. But trust me, all those things will not matter at the end of the day. And it can be a forgotten story if one really thinks about it, tries to get the good out of it and then move on, which was exactly what I did. The third thing, which is the final thing I'll be sharing today, there are so many things that I learned, but the third thing is that failing helped me to better understand people that had gone through similar experiences. It's been so nice to do a video. Hi guys, I passed my exams in 7 months. I didn't have to take any of the exams. But guess what? Who does that really help? Yes, it can be motivational, it can be inspiring. But I've realized that a lot of people look for people they can relate with and relate to in terms of their experiences. And failing has definitely put me on that pedestal where I can say, don't worry, I've been there and I've done that and I've conquered. So for me, the fact that I have failed helped me to understand how people truly felt. I feel like this was one failure that could have really brought me down, but thankfully it did not. And now I'm able to influence people positively even when they've gone through similar situations. And I feel like that's one great gift from failing. Apart from all the other interpersonal skills that I've learned to be patient. I've learned to put others ahead of myself. I've learned to look out for other people. When people are going in the right direction, I've learned to say, oh no, take a step back and do this instead. So I hope you now understand why I say that failing has made me a better person, and I'm grateful, so grateful for that experience. So next time you encounter a failure, instead of thinking it's the end of the world or it's just going to cost you another amount of huge money, whatever it is, I want you to remember that everything that we face in life is for a purpose. And truly for me, I have seen it. I know it's still a learning curve. I know there will still be failures ahead, but this particular failure has taught me a lot. I hope you learned one or two things. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with another person. Thank you.